See?
Hence the name.
Yeah, so fucking tired.
You're live.
Yeah,
Welcome to the Radmilcast.
Yeah. So here's the first version of this song. You say you want a ramble cast, well, you know, we all want to make you laugh. You say, where the hell is Jack? Well, you know, that old man is daft. 'Cause when you'd want to talk about Lego, don't you know that you can count Jack out in? 'Cause you know it's gonna be alright. This is where you do the shooby-doo-wah. 'Cause you know it's gonna be shooby-doo alright. You know it's gonna be alright.
Turn me on, dead man.
Ah.
I think that is the best one you've done without Jack.
Ah, thanks.
It's like a special asterisk. We'll see what Jack says. He might not watch because last time we were together and Chris is, you know, but when it was just the three of us last time, he was like, well, maybe I won't watch, you know, because
I think he did. Out. And then like one of us apparently made fun of him. Shocker.
No, but I think he's out on the West Coast now.
Oh.
Like, because he was going to San Diego.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. So he said that he was also going to get some special edibles.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. Even though he swore off it last time because of what his escapade. So tune into where that episode is. Sorry if you're just joining us live. Sherry's in the chat. Thank you for joining us. Yeah. I think that's about it. Chris, you're still muted, but
he's just tired.
Yeah, he's so fucking.
I was definitely muted. Sorry. Yeah,
that was a self mute, by the way.
I'm very tired. Just got back from like a 3-day bender. In Nashville.
Just saw some of your pics on Insta.
Oh my god, cool. Yeah. I realized that the second picture I posted got cut off because Instagram's fucking stupid. But yeah, man, I had a blast. Had so much fun. Got to see a little bit of the Flaming Lips. Got to see Weezer, and it was so fucking awesome. Like, it was so much fun. Like, we had a blast, and I was on the verge of a blackout, maybe / blackout.
Chris, do you make playlists of the set lists of bands, or never do that, or not really?
No.
I used to do that back in the day when I would, you know, not so much anymore. It is an interesting thing, like to you know, either see the set list before you go and then kind of get, or after, and like, oh, this is exactly what they played. You know, I would
try to not look at the set list until after. I don't like to get surprised.
Right? No, I'm not saying before. I'm just saying like afterwards. Like, kind of like, oh, like I'm gonna put together like the songs. They're never quite the same because the way they perform them live, you know, obviously,
you know, and it's interesting you say that too, right? I mean, with the exception of Weezer, I've actually never listened to or had seen Weezer perform prior to Tuesday.
You had never listened to them?
No, I've never seen them perform live.
Oh, okay,
right.
I've never seen them live.
I've never heard, but I've also never heard them live, like live tracks or anything like that. So it was just fun to be there and be a part of it, and like it was awesome. But like the real main attraction, the reason I was actually in Nashville was for My Morning Jacket, which was last night. Yeah. Fuck, I don't even know what the fuck date is. Which was last night. And that set list was incredible. And in My Morning Jacket,
the hook?
It was off the hook, man. My Morning Jacket is off the record, but you know,
off the record. Wow.
My Morning Jacket to me is not a studio band.
No.
Like at all.
I agree.
Like
they've got some that are pretty good
on stage. Those guys are fucking ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
I tend to like Jim James's solo stuff because I think he just kind of does it like we do. He has his like own little setup and he puts the reverb on high and just kind of like let's just be one stream of conscious. So it's not super. Yeah,
he played Here in Spirit last night. That was pretty cool. One of his songs. But last night it was actually really cool. They had Susan Tedeschi came out and performed with them alongside Margot Price and Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. It was pretty cool, man. Like the I don't know, Matt, have you ever been to Nashville before?
Oh yeah, Nathaniel and then Susan Tedeschi and Margot Price.
Not proper. Like I've driven through. Nashville, not proper.
Nathaniel Rateliff, Nick opened up. They were the first band.
Oh, okay. Well, no, it says at the end of the performance, you on track 13, song 13, they played "You Can't Always Get What You Want" by the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, it was awesome
with those three people in support. So
yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, it was really, really cool. So I had never been to this venue before. So I mean, I've been to the Bridgestone Arena. Bridgestone Arena is where I saw Weezer, right? I've been to the football stadium, right? I haven't been to the Ryman yet, but I kind of want to go back in October.
You need to go to the Ryman. Yeah.
I know.
You need to go to see an acoustic show though. Like you don't. I mean, they do get electric ones in there, but
one of my favorite bands is playing there at the end of October, and I'm like, maybe I'll go. I don't know. It's such an accessible trip for me. Like it's like a 2.5 hour at most flight, and it's relatively inexpensive.
And it's a straight flight too.
Yeah, direct flight for sure.
Because sometimes if you're wanting to go to a destination and you're like, oh shit, none of these carriers go have a one nonstop, because that makes it a hell of a lot easier because there's no connection.
Right.
You just get on, get off, go right to where you need to go.
That's what will make it difficult for me to ever leave Colorado. Is that if I moved back to Tennessee, I wouldn't want to live in Nashville, but if I did, it'd be Knoxville area. But I would always have to have a connecting flight. Whereas in Denver, I can get anywhere in North America pretty much direct.
Yep,
direct flight.
It's so great.
Yeah.
So, which led me to last night's show that I went to was Nathaniel Rateliff and My Morning Jacket, and it was at the Ascend Amphitheater, which is just an outdoor amphitheater, just right smack dab in the middle of the fucking city. It was just really weird. I'm so used to we have an amphitheater. It's a really large one here near me, and it's like you pull up, you park. It's in the woods. It's like you walk like 1.5 miles from the parking lot to get to the venue. Here, we got a bite to eat, and then we just walked across the street pretty much, and then we're all of a sudden within 30 feet of the stage. It was just really weird, but it was a beautiful backdrop. The venue was awesome. It was a very, very small amphitheater, but it was just wild, man. Like I couldn't get over the fact that I'm looking at buildings behind, in cars passing by. You know what I mean? It was a weird non-separation. It's just smack dab in the middle of it all. But
I could see, especially your last concert
was the gorge. The gorge. Out in fucking wilderness, right? But,
so yeah, I mean that's one complete 180 there.
Yeah, it was wild, man. It was a good time. Tuesday night was it? I don't even what day is today?
Thursday,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Tuesday night
Chris is
I
on
went
borrowed time.
Dude, I am
he's on vacation.
roasted right now.
And tomorrow's going to be a long day is what Sherry says. I don't know what she's talking about.
For fuck's sake. Yeah, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah, what happens tomorrow?
There's a new product launching tomorrow. A couple
of them. Okay. Gotcha.
I'm closing tomorrow.
Nice.
But the
lots of caffeine in your
so Tuesday, one of my buddies was there for work because his company has an office in Nashville. So me and my other buddy Dave went to meet him down there. That's the whole impetus of the trip. And so on Tuesday he had to work all day and do all this bullshit. So my buddy Dave and I are like, let's just get after it. So we walked down to Broadway, which is a good hike from where we were staying, and then we just fucking went after it pretty hard. So by the time I got to the concert, I was like, I called Kulky, and I was like talking to Kulky on the side, like I was in the road, like just talking to Chris Kulk, because like I just happened to tell, like, it was one of those, like, you know, I was fucking in a good place. When it's all like the you know, your touristy / some of the old school dive bars. My buddy Dave fell in love with a bartender who, I mean, it was one of those nights, man. You know, one of those.
It's nights. Easy to do. Yeah, they made a whole show about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you've had quite a few drinks, and you know the bartenders don't want to give any attention. You're like, damn,
this person talks to me, and I give them.
Yeah, she was pretty cute too. So I gotta give him credit. He knows how to pick them. But yeah, man, we had a fucking great time. And yeah, I'll tell you though, Wednesday morning, I thought I was gonna die. I really did. I mean,
you don't know what day today is, so
chasing the dog.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. So we had to go on to this Biscuit Love restaurant. It's called. It was fucking amazing. Just like a greasy, like, you know, hash bowl and whatever.
Mm-hmm. I mean, biscuits in the name. So
in a tall fucking Bloody Mary just to get the hair of the dog. Just to, hair of the dog. Yeah, and then we went back home, and I fucking crashed a nap for 3 hours yesterday afternoon, and then we started up all over again last night and saw you the other concert. So
it is a little bit of a walk from where you were staying. Yeah, if you're about,
I was up in the Gulch.
Yeah,
Gulch, South Side Avenue, I think it was called. But yeah, it was a good walk, and it was hot as hell. I mean, in the sun down there, so it's probably gonna, you know, high 80s, low 90s.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, it's been 80. It's been in the high 80s here. So
you actually weren't too far from one of my favorite barbecue places in Nashville. I mean, Memphis is better, but Nashville, like, is maybe a 2-minute walk. It's called a Peg Leg Porker, which is really good.
They had one at the airport.
Why didn't you go there?
I almost had lunch there, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Why didn't you go there, man? You went all the way there. You didn't go there. Sorry, I'm filling in for Jack.
All right. That's funny.
Yeah, Jack, if you're watching, was in my airport terminal. I decided against it. They had smoked turkey and smoked sausage, and I was like, I might fucking throw up if I try that.
Well, what you do with the smoked sausage, which is kind of a Memphis thing,
and this guy knows how to smoke some meat.
Well, the sausage and cheese plate is a Memphis staple of an appetizer, and so what you do, and Peg Leg has that, which is you get a smoked sausage and then you put like it depends on, people prepare it a little bit differently, but you will put a dry rub seasoning on top of it, and usually it's served with crackers and cheese and then pickles and peppers, and you can choose to eat it however you want, but it's excellent.
Yeah, sounds sexy.
I'll make it for you if you ever visit again.
If I ever visit again.
Yeah.
Well, so apparently I can get a nonstop flight to Denver.
I treated my body like I was 25 this week, and it's reminding me that I'm definitely not.
Yeah.
Hey, bad. Did you see that article? It was kind of making the rounds there about how humans age at two specific times, when they're 44 and when they're 60. Their bodies go through, you know, a large amount of.
I would argue it's
like age.
There's more than that. Though.
Look, it's these articles have been floating around, but they talk about 44 and 60. So
because you technically start to die.
Yeah,
like men start to die at around 22 or 24, and women start to die at like 21 and 20 because your bone marrow changes from the red to yellow at that time. So really, you start to die at that point. But you're right, though. I agree that like. Those are other key.
Look, this is based on some scientific study. I'm sorry that I'm not bringing the noise here with looking it up here. I'll just Google it here while we're hearing. So I'm not like fucking Joe Rogan over here. So, go ahead as I.
You know. Oh yeah, and then Sherry would like to see the article on Facebook as well.
It's just got a picture of me.
Yeah. Don't be this guy. No.
Don't be.
All right, here I can share this real quick. I just Googled.
Well, I mean, I'd say you came out ahead. I was fully expecting to see like the Tennessean on the cover of the Tennessean. Boston guy comes down, starts headbutting people on Broadway. Or something. Fuck you! I'm from Beantown. I don't know.
2 bursts.
Yeah.
At 44 and then 60. Just findings suggesting
so you're saying
aging is not a slow and steady process, could explain spikes in health issues at certain ages. If you had noticed, anyway, this is from The Guardian. So I just Google searched specifically the words humans age at 44 and 60. So there we go.
I mean, I think the people definitely hit those milestone ages to where like you're never the same past that point. Like I felt like with my father, for example, he was perfectly the coolest chill dad, and then he hit 53, and then it's like it was like a switch. I mean, it's still you have them later too, but that's when his hair went from having color to kind of starting getting gray. That's when like he started getting winded. That's when like you could tell like his energy level really dropped at like 53.
Low T.
Yeah, the low T. Yeah. Yeah.
So much low T.
He got on the shots after that, then he got ripped,
I think I just kind of want to like take some steroids and just get jacked.
Push through it.
Why not?
Get jacked. Oh. I've been I think I mentioned this on podcast or just in casual conversations with the three of us after the show, maybe, I don't know. But my wife and I have been walking a lot, and so
nice.
That's been like we almost did 8 miles today. It was like 7.9. So
that's great.
Yeah. So we don't do that every day. Like sometimes we mix it up, and there are days in which it's like you just kind of hit a wall and you're like, we're just making this a short one.
I think if I had a partner, that would encourage me to walk more, because walking by yourself sucks because you're just there.
Yeah. I mean, having somebody to talk to, and
yeah,
I mean, it's funny. Just on a personal note, I'm mentioning this to her. I was like, well, it's been great because it's kind of like we have this date time and we get to talk. And she's like, yeah, it's just nice having a second person there. And I'm like,
it is, yeah.
And I'm like, so I'm just any second person.
You just poured your heart to her. She's like, yeah, you're all right.
Yeah, basically. Chris sees the husbandry of it all.
Oh yeah.
So,
it's one of the things, even though I would have loved to have been married.
Glad to be the second body. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
No, exactly. I mean, I think everybody. I mean, I would have loved to have been married before now, but it's one of the things I found really extremely intriguing with dating in my 20s, dating in my 30s, and dating in my 40s. And like I know, like the last couple of first dates I've had, it's been one of those like, hey, like, do you just want to like go for a walk? And it's because it's not anything threatening. It's just relaxed, and like we'll walk around like a pond or a lake, in a park somewhere, and then you go get dinner, and you really learn a lot about that person because you're actually talking and you're listening instead of just like, hey, we're at a concert, we're at a movie, or we're, It's like you can ignore those people then, but like this, you're forced to actually communicate, and it's nice. And most people, at our age are that way now. It's like I have nothing to prove to anybody, and so like here I am. Well, Chris,
it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing how much of a fuck I don't give.
Yeah, right.
The older I get, the less shits or fucks I give. It's pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't know where I was going with all of that.
You were saying walking and just exercising and
walking, just exercise, like just getting
it too, because
I think nature too, like what Nick said, like having that kind of just time to like kind of look at other shit that's just not like crap,
and be grateful though, man. I mean, because like as an example, like the guys I went with this weekend, both of them are divorced, so it's like, and I was like the entire time I was thinking like I would love for my wife to have been there hanging out with us.
Right.
She would have had a blast. I enjoy hanging out with my wife, which is like I can't say that about a lot of my friends,
That's
but yeah.
Well, that's what it sometimes on Instagram you'll get like these random things on your search that'll pop up, and one of them that I stopped and read was I don't remember them all, but it was like 5 red flags that are actually green flags. in relationships. And like one of them was that is like have different interests, because if you have exact same interests, then there's nowhere to grow,
right.
and then and be a separate person,
Yeah.
And then the other one was kind of like what you were saying, Chris, like willingly want your partner to and not be needy, but like you want them there even though they're not there,
Yeah.
It's like, because some people would, especially when you're younger.
Don't get me wrong. I wasn't sitting there like, oh, I wish my wife was here.
Sure.
Like that wasn't me at all.
Actually.
Like we had
you were
plastered. But like at one point, I was texting with her. I'm like, man, I wish you were here. You would fucking be having a blast with us right now.
As he's in the back of the cop.
The text was all bleep blork black blork, and she's like, I love the.
No, to be fair, that was only one night I got that way, and last night what I love about these outdoor venues, like they had this at the Gorge, and they had this at Ascend Amphitheater in Nashville last night. No, they didn't have the Petroff, but they did have the water refilling stations.
Oh yeah, no,
those are great.
Those are nice. Yes,
because you either pay $12 for a fucking liquid death, which
right. I know
get it, but like
it's like,
or you just finish your beer, you just fill it with water,
right?
And
more.
I drank more water than I did beer last night. So,
you ever do green juice after, like
No.
a
What's that?
I'm telling you, celery and like ginger and like there's some other kind of green vegetable you throw in there, maybe a little bit of carrots for sweetness.
You killed
I'm
Kermit.
telling you, it will heal you so quick. So I swear by it. Like if you ever see like a juice place and you're like thinking that's not a place that I would normally go to, you can think that's a hangover stop, right? Like you're like struggling the next day, you see a juice place, you're like, okay.
I mean, to be fair, Chris did have a red juice.
He did a Bloody Mary.
He had a Bloody Mary.
Oh yeah, I did.
V8. A V8 will set you straight.
And it had okra, pickled okra.
Okay,
that goes a mile.
Pickled. It might have been a pickle.
I heard water chestnuts are actually a superfood, like a really good.
What
healthy,
is?
Yeah, water chestnuts.
Oh,
so yeah.
I have to say this Bloody Mary that I had this place is one of the better Bloody Marys I've ever had. There's like some special like Nashville style mix or whatever. It was fucking delicious.
Might have been a Bloody Caesar.
Is that a thing?
Yeah,
Bloody Caesar.
Bloody Caesar is Clamato. So
okay.
I have a good recipe. It's basically you have the vodka, and then you have
how many bloodies are there?
Clamato, then you put in you put tomato juice and you put Clamato in there, and you have Worcestershire sauce, some pepper, celery.
Hey, you said it correctly. Nicely done, Nick.
Like there's different stuff in there, but it's there can be some tasty good ones.
Man, I tell you, if you ever go to the Bridgestone Arena, right when you walk in, if you get yourself one of those a cocktail bar, and don't get a beer, you get like the hand poured drinks. And if you just talk to them while they're making them, they do not pay attention as to what they're putting into that cup. But we both got vodka sodas right when we walked in, and it was like Grey Goose or Tito's on the rocks, essentially in a pint glass with a splash of soda.
Right.
I think that was the turning point for me on Tuesday. Yeah. Or the 15 milligrams of fucking weed that I ate.
Well,
combine it all together.
Hey guys, have a good time in my belly.
There was a show I watched a couple weeks ago. I think it's called like Bar Rescue or something. Which I'd never heard of it, never seen it. But
pull over.
John Taffer.
Yeah, just a guy comes in. He basically rescues like dive bars or bars that are
in my college town.
Oh, nice.
2 of them, actually.
Yeah, but it was interesting. Like that was something
gone.
The thing. Oh yeah. The thing I found the most fascinating about that was like how many bartenders don't know how to bartend. And like they would send. They always sent. So Matt, if you never seen it, they always send in like a couple people like kind of undercover first to kind of like order a few drinks. Order some food to see like how bad they do to kind of get an estimate of what what the big problems are, and they would have these little cameras on them showing them. They're like, oh my god, he just made this like that, like and you're like, okay, so that's not how you make this. That's not how you do this.
You just wasted $37,
right? On just exactly. But it's definitely. I don't know if I would watch it, every
all
year
the time.
but but like catch an episode, I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Like having worked in the food service industry, like as a bartender and a waiter and all that shit, it's actually pretty impressive to watch what they do. And they do like it's almost like the Kitchen Nightmares, right? Where they'll record Gordon Ramsay. You'll go in there, you'll observe shit for a few days, and then do the makeover. They do the same thing for the bar.
Right.
There's actually 2 bars where I went to school. The Chicken Bone Saloon and Angry Ham's Garage. Those are 2 episodes of that show that were from That's my old stomping ground.
Names alone sound like I don't want to go there.
Right. Yeah.
Chicken Bone was great.
Chicken
Bone
was great. It was a blues bar, but it was
okay.
definitely a biker bar, blues bar, but they had really great wings.
It
was 1-800 wings to you. They would deliver to the dorms.
Bone.
Amazing.
That's what was interesting about the show, Matt, is that if they agree to let these people help them, then they basically get to do whatever they want. So in both the episodes I watched, they renamed the bar.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're gonna call you O'Malley's now.
Well, they tried to keep it somewhat similar to what it was, but just kind of a twist on it, to where it sounds more appealing than like the
Teenage Mutant
or something. Yeah.
Chicken Bone.
Yeah, right.
It stayed the Chicken Bone.
No, Chicken Bone of the 2, that sounds more like it would have some traction, but what I would like to do like a remodel of is the commercial breaks that we put inside our shows.
Pretty good, dude. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd been holding on to that one for the last mile.
Well, that's about normal. We usually take the first one out around 25 minutes. So
Sure. No, I just was being gross.
You know what movie I watched this morning? Because I was up at the crack of dawn. Fuck.
Red Dawn?
Yeah. No, wasn't it? But I had to get up so I could get to the airport. Which, by the way, my fucking flight got delayed, so my entire early morning was just a waste.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But I know. Could have.
You're like,
I watched. I fucking should have. 21 Jump Street, the movie.
Oh yeah. I've caught that before.
I hadn't seen it in a long time. That's a fucking funny movie, dude.
There should have been 3. Should have been a trilogy, I think.
Wait, there's a second one?
There's a second one.
Yeah.
There's a second one
with Jonah Hill.
Yeah, I believe so.
Really?
Look it up. Yeah, I'll look it up right now. Move out of the way. Scientists find human age.
I never saw it.
Go ahead.
I said I never saw either one.
Dude, it was funny, man. The one I watched this morning. I mean, I saw
now. I have to be honest.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember seeing the first one. Yeah. I think I've seen the second one. I'm trying to look. Okay,
I think what made me not want to watch it was how many times, especially around that time period where they were remaking these 80s things that had nothing to do with the original show. Because you think of like Miami Vice, even though that was like 2006, and then they did a couple other ones. I can't think, but they didn't have the same feeling or vibe. Like Dukes of Hazzard, that was terrible. Anyway, the A-Team.
A-Team,
yeah.
Sure.
They
I don't know.
They
like
haven't made a movie Golden Girls yet. I would watch that.
Sometimes I kind of liked the liberties that they took, with some of those. And I mean, they're trying to draw in a younger audience that's like, I've never fucking heard of this thing before. Why should I even care? So,
right.
22 Jump Street came out in 2014. So, it's got a 7.0 rating out of 10.
That's not bad
on IMDb. No, it isn't actually. So,
especially for a comedy.
And I swore I know I've seen the first one. I thought I had seen the second one, but worth a watch. Did you watch it on a streaming service, or was it just on your Apple?
I didn't put it on. My buddy Dave put it on. I'm assuming it was on Netflix or something.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's the first one's got Captain Marvel before she's Captain Marvel.
Brie nice. Brie Lawson.
Larson.
No. Larson or Lawson?
Brie Larson.
Brie Lawson or Larson?
It's Larson.
Yep. Thank you.
I mean, I always knew her from at least the first thing I ever saw her in was Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah. Speaking of Scott Pilgrim, family's been watching Arrested Development. That's been new. We finished 30 Rock, and we were jumping into which Arrested Development is pretty wild. But so good, my kids have seen most of this stuff, so it's. I mean, they get all of the jokes. They find Tobias to be hilarious.
He's hilarious. Yeah, the first season to me was
double
the hardest.
Entendres.
Like the first, I didn't get it. The first season, I did not get it, and it wasn't until the second season where it finally clicked. Where I'm like, okay, this is gold.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some clunkers in there. Like I'd seen the Martin Short episode the other night, and I've been working on the computer, so the family's watching, and I'm kind of side watching and listening, and I don't think any of us laughed at all. Like he's like this uncle that comes in, and just the whole thing just didn't work. But there are other times that we are just everything with Job and the magic trick shit is just it's just fucking funny how it fails epically for him, and he is always injured.
So the episode that I've probably watched the most, the one I've always thought was in season 2, I think it's early on, it's called Amigos. And
yes,
that one's so good because there's somebody just like there's always very subtle stuff in there.
Yes,
so good. Like that's the one where they're driving into Mexico, and then she goes, "Hey, look at that guy on that hog." He's like, "George Michael." He's making out with Anne, and then
all of the Anne jokes that come along in season 2 are really hilarious.
What is she funny or something? And then like he's trying to explain legal talk to Job, like he's like, "Yeah, we're trying to circumvent this," and he's like, "Circumvent?" He goes, "Yeah, it means to go around." The old reach around.
Yes, the old reach around. Yeah. And then like I think Michael at some point says something Tobias says, which is just there's like triple entendres in there. He's like, "You think you could have rephrased that better?"
Right.
So Matt Treast in the comments is talking about the 22 Jump Street. He says, "I thought it was pretty funny, especially for a comedy sequel. The post-credit scene is a fast-forward look at fake sequels. That sounds like fun." Yeah. So
I'll have to check it out. Like I was watching this morning, and I was half out of it, just tired, and but it woke me up. I was laughing. I thought that movie was really funny.
Sometimes laughter will wake you up.
Yeah, certainly does.
I used the image of the banana stand because of that, Nick. Just to bring it back to Arrested Development for a second, like the image for our YouTube for this episode has
and I don't even really so when they went to Netflix, many years later, the first season back was definitely not the same format because they were trying to put it in a Netflix format, and I was very optimistic after the first season of Netflix, even though it wasn't the success that they were hoping it was going to be, because I thought the writers were clever, but it turns out they weren't doing anything I thought they were trying to do. Because, if you remember, it's like the Liza Minnelli, and then she gets murdered and all these things. And I kept thinking in this season, the only way this season works is if in the next season, they're setting up the whole "you're a crook, Captain Hook." With like someone's going to be on trial, and then he's got the hook on his hand, all these things, and then he has to come in and defend his brother, just like in the play. I was like, that would have been so brilliant if they had set up this long arc and they didn't do it, and so I never watched it after that.
It can never live up to your hopes.
I think that's probably, as you guys know, and probably the listeners by now about me, is that what's in my head is just like, and then it doesn't happen. I'm like, oh, okay.
I think maybe that's why Jack went into Beetlejuice with like your low expectation,
and he came out liking it better.
So I think he watched it since we last podcast, and we talked about it. So I'm sure on the next podcast he'll talk about it.
I mean, he did agree with me. He said I liked it better than Nick, but I agree that there are some wasted plot
Sure.
lines, you know, which is that's my biggest beef with it. It was just that there's some interesting story concepts introduced and they go nowhere, and you're like, oh man, like it's one of those kind of like we've talked about with Star Wars, God knows how many times. If you just would have given it to someone else, you know, and be like, hey, like, what do you think of this? And then let them kind of go, hey, well, where's this going? Or what's, you know, you should rewrite this part, or just give it to a friend for a week, you know. Like I said, it's not the best, but if you go into any 80s movie expecting it to be the original, you know, like later on, you're always disappointed anyway. Same as like Chris, I'm sure you saw that Goonies finally got greenlit for a sequel.
I don't think it's happening though.
Oh,
I saw that article too, and I started Googling a little bit more, and then it was like, if they're making a sequel, they haven't heard about it. Like Corey Feldman and Sean Astin hadn't been asked yet.
Oh,
you know what I mean, so it's like, who knows? But
you gotta have Sean Astin.
I would. There's no way. There's literally no way you make that movie without fucking Corey and Sean Astin. Like you can't brand. You have to have the original cast. Like if anything, Jonathan Ke Quan, is like
exactly
hot as shit right now. Like you know,
we need maybe
get Martha
Hollywood.
Plimpton back in there. You could do so much with that. It'd be a lot of fun. I would see the shit out of it though.
No, so here's the question though, Chris. So this is to me seems to be the trend in Hollywood, which pisses off a lot of people of our generation. So let's say they do green light a Goonies sequel, and all the original cast signs on, but it ends up being they're only in the movie for like 2 minutes each, and it's really about their kids. They're now the new Goonies, and so you're really watching another movie with a whole cast of children. And the original cast is only in it for like 5 minutes.
That's probably that seems like the likely trend.
Yeah, but that's what bothers you, because you want to see where this cast has ended up all these years later, you know. And like, yes, you're playing with fire there too, because look at Dumb and Dumber, and then Dumb and Dumber or whatever, the one that they did, Dumb and Dumber 2 or whatever, which is because you can't just continue to be an idiot, you know, 30 years later. But you know, you have to let these characters mature and have actual grown up problems now. But,
I mean, I think. Not to throw this into this whole monkey wrench thing, but it's like with Michael Scott. It's like at some point, because he grows and kind of, you know, like stops being so weird. You know what I mean? Like he's still weird, but he, you know, it's like there's at least growth with him, so he's not completely one-dimensional character.
Yeah.
So, but
I watched. I think I was trying to remember if I had spoken to you guys about it, but it was definitely over a text message, I think. But the Bike Riders on Amazon
is
Prime.
over text. Yeah.
Oh, like BMX?
Nope. No. It's a
like Brad.
It's a movie about a guy that followed around the Vandals motorcycle club in like the 60s and 70s rather. And kind of like documented their time. So it's a movie based off of like a book that was written by like a documentarian, essentially. And the best way I could describe it, I think I did through the text, I go, it was kind of like Almost Famous meets Sons of Anarchy, but they left out all the good shit. You know what I mean? Like it was just, I don't know. Like it there is so much potential to that movie that it just didn't do it for me. The cast was great. You had what's his name? The dude who did Elvis.
Oh,
actually, I don't think he's a good actor.
Yeah, I think he's like a lot of people. He's just kind of like the it guy right
face. Now. Like
he was in Dune.
I don't think he's that good,
right?
Yeah, he was in Dune. Yeah, he did all right. He did a good job in Dune.
Yeah,
Tom Hardy. I fucking love Tom Hardy. Right, I think he's a great actor. He's really good. Norman Reedus was in it for a minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
because he rides, man. They're just
there's
like
a lot of there's a lot of potential to the movie. It just didn't go anywhere.
And it's a movie. It was a movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I wonder. Like, if this is this book and movie, is this an original book and movie? Because, like, you know, Hunter S. Thompson did the exact same thing and wrote a book about it called Hell's Angels in 1967.
Really?
And you wonder if did they
Hells
copy some of this stuff
Angels.
or
Hells
because like I
Angels.
guarantee Hunter S. Thompson's book's probably better based on what you're saying.
Give me a minute. I'm pulling up the information.
Okay.
Bum.
Okay, Austin Butler. Yep, and the pacing is slow. It felt like a longer movie than it was. I wish you hate that. Yeah.
And Matt Treese also is Austin Butler. So
yeah.
Matt Treese bringing the knowledge. Also, Sherry in the chat, 22 Jump Street is streaming on Amazon Prime as well. So
awesome.
If you're wanting to catch up on that. So in the show that you were watching, was that on Netflix as well? The Bikers?
Yeah. No, it's on Amazon Prime actually.
Oh, that's on Amazon Prime. That's on Prime. Okay.
Yeah, so it was Danny Lyon's photo book. Apparently, he was and it was not Hunter S. Thompson, but similar situation, I guess.
Danny Lyon.
Well, I mean, even though Hunter S. Thompson did a lot of drugs, he tended to be very vivid in his writing. So it was like, hey, like, because I mean, that's what makes Fear and Loathing so good. You feel like you're there, and even though you could have never done drugs, you basically feel like you've done drugs after you've read that book. Yeah. Or watched the movie.
Yeah, it just seemed like the movie didn't know exactly what it wanted to do.
Yeah,
like what direction it wanted to go in. I mean, did it want to go for like the whole like badass outlaw side, or is it the love story that was trying to be told, or was it more of a historical take or look? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what
I felt. They need to put their balls all in one.
That's how I felt with Napoleon. With Joaquin Phoenix. That movie that should have either been.
I still need to finish watching that. I started to watch it and then just stopped.
I felt that should have been a series, more than a movie. It's just same. It's the same as like with the
Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. Like, why have it be like 1, boom, 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 and then have this episode and 2, boom, but like why have it like just break this up into episodes? Sorry.
No, you're good.
Like if anybody knows what I'm talking about, but you can go ahead and talk about rip on something else. Like let's fucking kick it around the corner.
Fine, I'll just shut up, Matt.
No, I just meant like
yeah, well,
get another ginger beer here.
It's just like it's like a Horizon, with Kevin Costner. I did watch part 1, and I think Jack said it. I think and I get the hate it gets. I also get the love it gets as well. And that I think there's certain directors and certain people, they're so stuck in a time frame of like this has to be a movie because there's more money potential, doing it. And you watch Horizon. And you realize this should have been a series because it's 4 parts from what we've heard. Yeah. And it's like 6 different storylines. And so the first part makes no sense at all because you're seeing all these beginnings of storylines and that's it. It has no central theme or plot. And you're like, what the fuck am I watching?
Gotcha. Huh. Yeah, that is kind of an interesting notion of like why. What are we just watching cinephobes like flip out and make these like mega movies, just for the sake of saying we can do TV too. We're just going to do it on this grand scale or something. I don't know. I wanted to mention this show that I was watching, Chaos on Netflix.
Okay.
I had mentioned it last week, I think. And it has it's Greek. It's a retelling of Greek myths and Greek gods. And it's got Jeff Goldblum.
That's right. Because that's right. Because I said I didn't believe him as Zeus.
Sure. There's other people in the cast, but it's grown on me. I would say the first 3 episodes. Total late 40s dad here. Like I was just like end of the day snoozing out, and I was like, no, like there's aspects of this that I'm interested in, but to your point, Nick, it was kind of like the beginnings. Like when you watch it, the first episode is like you're just being introduced to these threads, And I finally got to like episode 5, and it's just like, like things are starting to kind of like meld in a way. And there's a reveal that happens, I think, around 5 or 6, where all of a sudden it puts things into perspective. And it was this moment when I was watching it and I was like, fuck you, Nick, where I was like, because I'm looking at it critically, like thinking like, what would Nick think of this? Like he would probably he would probably be pissed that like they waited this long for this reveal, that you needed this information up front sooner. So you can watch it if you want to. You don't have to. It's not but I like the tone of it. I felt like there was a little bit of a slow burn, but I like where it's headed. Mm-hmm. And I'm rooting for certain characters, because basically it's a story about kind of killing the gods, essentially, and so there is this element of,
you mean killing the Titans?
There's, again, Nick, you've got Greek history in your background. Like I'm assuming, like maybe a college like somewhere you took a class. No,
not in necessarily Greek.
Okay.
I had a Euro last week. It was pretty good.
Okay, well then I think you're going to be good. You don't have to know it. I just think that some people, that if they're aware of some of these things, they would really be like, oh, there's this and this and this.
I mean, I've read the Iliad and the Odyssey, and
okay,
and
there's guys, there's nudity, there's violence, like it's all there. Yeah. So chaos. Check it out.
Shit, what was I gonna say? Oh, it's like I've been.
Have you heard of this show, Chris? Have you heard of this show at all?
Okay. No.
Sometimes they just fall through the cracks. Yeah, sadly.
Yeah, I mean it can, but it's.
Well, that's what it was. So when you brought this up, I said, this sounds like the show Chris and I watched that was the Norse mythology in modern times. And what was the name of that one, Chris?
Fucking Ragnarok.
Ragnarok, Ragnarok. Which was excellent. The first 2 seasons, and the third season at the very end just dropped the ball. It was so good. And then you're like,
I didn't watch the last one.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. I'll leave it with the first season. I thought was excellent.
So good, yeah.
Second season, I thought ended a little bit weird.
Yeah.
And I think we've talked about this with shows, is because sometimes I kind of want just a one and done. Like I don't like I would kind of like I hope that this season kind of has a nice crescendo ending or what have you, or like comes to like some type of a closure. Because I mean, especially like with having somebody like Jeff Goldblum, like I just don't think they're gonna lock him into like a long, but maybe not. I don't know. So what? You want me to shorten it up a bit?
No, we're at 50 minutes. It's time for another commercial break.
Oh, okay. Well, let's cut this out.
Yeah, and speaking of one and dones, like I've been giving my sister shit because this is very stereotypical of her, and that I recommend a show to her, and she's like, I'll get to it. I got Friends rewatches to do, kind of like Jack. I'd rather watch MASH. And she texted me yesterday or day before yesterday saying, "Hey, I'm on the 5th episode of Shogun. This is so good." And I'm like, "Yeah, you waited until it fucking won everything before you took me seriously."
I still haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you'll like it, Chris. It's good.
I don't have
Hulu.
I don't have Hulu.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good.
Yeah. Well, whenever you do get Hulu.
I mean, that's Hulu. Hulu is something I probably would. That and Netflix are probably the 2 things I would never get rid of, because I have the Hulu Live, so I watch. Because when you get the bundle, if you have the Disney Plus,
right?
because like that's what you get the Hulu. I get Hulu with Hulu Live, then the Disney Plus and ESPN Plus. So that way I get every single sports game ever.
Oh,
when you get the ESPN, because I can see. Especially me watching college sports, there's so many little games where like your team's playing some rinky-dink little school, but they'll still have it on ESPN Plus. It's like excellent, and so I love watching that shit. But yeah, you'll like Shogun. Like it's the same thing as like what Matt and I have been saying, in that the first episode or 2, it is a kind of a slow build, but you have to think of it like a book, and that there's 10 episodes, and it's like each is a beginning, a middle, and an end, in that it's this guy's journey throughout this. So it's like a learning phase, assimilation, and then the end. And
I'm in, dude. I haven't.
good.
Yeah, I haven't had a show to watch. What was the last show that I just finished watching?
It's funny because I'll run across different, as I'm in IMDb and looking at different actors, and can't remember who it was, but I was like, I stumbled across and I'm like, oh, they were in Better Call Saul. I like that show. like
actually, I'm looking forward to
missing that show. Yeah.
Coming to Netflix either this month or next. I'm not sure when. It's a TV show called Heels. You ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
It was on FX or one of those channels. I can't remember, but it stars Stephen Amell, who is Arrow.
Oh, okay.
It's a movie or a TV show. I don't know if it's based on truth or whatever, but it's about these two brothers that are like in the independent wrestling circuit.
Oh yeah, because he's big into wrestling too. Steven.
Yeah. So like it's so it looked like it was awesome. I was watching an interview of him, and he was saying how I think they had 2 seasons of it, and he's like, but the network did not do them any favors as far as like promoting it and like kind of getting it out there. So he's like, I'm considering this like the reboot. He's like, the show is going to debut on Netflix again, right? Like that's kind of the way he's like kind of taking it.
Right.
So hopefully that it takes off. But he's got more work lined up too, because he's going to be in the new season or the new series for Suits.
Oh,
yeah. So they're filming. Sense. They're filming another season or another show essentially, but it's essentially the West Coast, like California version of Suits.
It's gonna be called W Suits.
They don't wear
WC Suits.
California.
WC Suits.
It's just
they all wear shorts.
It's all just shorts and flip flops, and actually, it's funny. Like
it's also a wet WC Fields joke in there too.
Oh yeah, not a lot of people know who WC Fields is. So have y'all seen the trailer for it's Robert Pattinson's new movie called
dude,
Mickey 17. Yeah. And it kind of smacks.
It came out of nowhere.
It came out of nowhere. Yeah, like I'd never heard of it until like 2 days ago. It's not coming out till next year, but it kind of smacks of Moon, which I really liked, but it's more of a comedy.
What's it called?
It's called Mickey 17.
Mickey.
I think that's the title of it.
I forgot the name of it, but
it's basically the same kind of concept as Moon, but whereas in Moon was a mystery / drama because he didn't know what was going on in his world. This one, it's like a guy who's just on Earth. He's, probably a homeless guy or has no future aspects. So what he does is he signs his life away to this space program, and he's called an expendable. And basically what they do is you get put in those situations where you're basically going to die every time they ask you to do something, and they just clone you over and over again to be the guy that does all the shit no one else wants to do. And it looks really interesting, and it's by the director who did Parasite. So hopefully it'll be really good. I'm definitely going to give it a shot.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I was like, it was so weird to hear him talk like that too. Like his character's voice is just so odd.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a what do we say? It's kind of like was that Altered Carbon meets
right.
Yeah, Matthew Tree says Bong Joon-ho, I'm there. Like he's in.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, man, it looks awesome. Like this scene here is like fucking terrifying though. He's got to like subject himself to like the murder from aliens. But yeah, it looks good, man. It looks really good. But what's interesting, right, is that like, as we're watching the trailer for those at home, there's like a plot twist where he and another clone of himself encounter each other. And it seems like the majority of the movie is what takes place after that point. Almost as if like the dying bit was just kind of like the let's get you into the movie with this kind of like kitschy little like device, right? Whereas the actual plot of the movie is what happens when, Well,
that's what I'm saying. It kind of has that Moon vibe to it. So I assume that Matt
Moon's also more of a solo kind of
thing. It is.
This has a lot more. I mean, I'm just watching the trailer here with you guys, and it seems to have a larger cast.
Yeah, it does. But I'm saying the Moon aspect of it is that once he gets tired of dying over and over again, and then like what Chris is saying, if he meets another copy of himself, at what point do they gang up and say, let's try to have a better life now? Which would be the Moon aspect of it.
I never saw Moon.
Yeah, it's Sam Rockwell.
Love him.
It's directed by David Bowie's son,
David Jones.
Davy Jones. Yeah, it is an independent film, Chris. So Duncan Jones. Yes.
Thank you.
So don't expect a lot of, like a lot of complicated or big budget stuff, but it is a good movie.
Yeah. The thing about Moon is that it did a great job of blending computer special effects with real live special effects, and really not going too over but like blown with the special effects stuff. So as Matt Treese points out, unfortunately has the voice of Kevin Spacey. Well, if you like Kevin Spacey, and who doesn't like to be alone with his voice in your head?
Right. I don't know. I mean, personal life aside, it's kind of like with Jack doesn't like Michael Jackson, which is totally understandable, but like,
sure.
I mean, I will never say to someone, don't watch The Usual Suspects. I mean, because it's just such
a
fucking masterpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've talked about this too with certain things, like even with myself, with Michael Jackson, it's like up to a certain point until I kind of was like, oh wait, hey, this guy's kind of weird, like, and there was nothing specific. It was just kind of like a slew of
just sucks because he was like a musical fucking genius.
Mm-hmm. Right. But also, suffering from some severe childhood trauma.
Oh, no doubt.
Right. Psychosis that but anyway,
that doesn't excuse anything. I'm just
no, it doesn't. But I do try to take a kind of like an approach of like, when I found out. So it's like, okay, I can still enjoy the album Bad and Man in the Mirror.
Right.
But then after that, like for me,
Sam Rockwell's like breakout role.
Sam Rockwell.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
What?
Yeah, he's one of the bad guys. Yeah, that's right.
So, all right. So, Matt, if you ever watched the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that's his first role, and he's only got like one speaking line in it, and it's basically when the new recruits of the Foot come in, and they see all the skateboarders and all the shit that's going on down in the lair. When this guy goes, "You guys got any cigarettes?" He pops up with 2 cartons, regular or menthol.
Yep.
But that's
cigarette
guy. Yeah.
But I'm honestly though, like I think like breakout role for him, I think was Moon.
No.
No. I think Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Galaxy Quest. There's a lot of stuff.
Galaxy Quest.
There's stuff he did in the '90s too that like people just forget. But
I don't know why, but like
Green Mile.
Green Mile's right. And that's 90.
Yeah.
Or is that 99?
99.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like it's his first. Isn't it his first movie that he's like a leading man in? Then, I guess
he's been in a lot of stuff though. Like
Matchstick Man, dude.
Oh, Matchstick.
So
great movie.
Yeah. That's a movie people forget about. He goes such a great movie.
Apparently, he was in some ABC After School specials.
I love him in the way back. The way back is that. I think the way back is a sleeper movie. That's what I really fucking love that movie. Not just because I vacation in that area and that I have been to that water park. But I fucking love that movie. I just think it's such a good flick. And it was the first time I ever saw Steve Carell play a fucking bad person.
Right.
You know, so it's just really weird, but like I fucking loved it, man. It's such a good movie. If you haven't seen The Way Back, it's a phenomenal flick about this kid who his mom has a new boyfriend. Boyfriend is Steve Carell, who has a house.
I don't know if I can watch it
near Cape Cod.
It's not for everybody. Yeah,
I don't want to think of Steve Carell as being a bad guy.
That's what he is. He's a passive aggressive asshole. Yeah, he's a passive aggressive stepdad asshole. That's what he is. And he thinks the kid is a loser, and he does everything he can to reinforce that kid's a loser.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so it's
Tony
boy, this really feels like a movie from the 80s. Like,
it does.
I'm watching it, and I'm
like
like this because it. But 2013 Sundance Film Festival.
It's so fucking good, man. Allison Janney's in it. You know, Nat
and Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell is the lead. And that's right. The guy who was just in the screen there a second ago. The guy who's right there. Yeah. He's the guy.
Wait, which one?
Nat Faxon.
That guy with the longer hair. Yeah,
he wrote the movie.
I thought you meant the girl.
Oh, that's right. She's in it too. Fuck. There's a lot of good fucking actors in this movie.
By the way, I'm doing what Jack never did. If you watch us live, I'm trying to just put up the show that we're talking about.
He doesn't know how to do these things, though.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell, Maya Rudolph, Rob Cardry, Amanda Peet. Fuck, man. There's like so many people in this movie. It's really, really good. 100% recommend.
Yeah, Sherry says you have to buy or rent this movie to see it now.
Oh, it's a buy rent.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, it's good. Like I said, like Sam Rockwell usually picks good projects. And if you watch that documentary, Never Give Up, Never Surrender, I think it's on that one where he talks about how he did not want to do Galaxy Quest.
Oh, really?
Because at that point, you think about like the Green Mile, you think about the trajectory he was on.
Mm-hmm.
He was wanting to do artsy films. And to do Galaxy Quest was kind of like, oh, this comedy is probably not the right direction I want to go in. But, you know, mentally. And the thing is, he's one of those actors in that film that almost steals the show because he's so good at that character.
Yeah.
And that's why it's why it's good. It's an ensemble cast.
And Matt Treast in the comments here says this was the screenwriter's follow-up to The Descendants that they won the Oscar for. So
that's a good movie too.
That's kind of an interesting factoid. Yeah, no, I like The Descendants. So, do we have to put in yet another commercial break? Do we have to put this many in there, or
we have to put in 3? But we can wait another.
Okay. Do we have any emails or anything like?
Not that I've noticed.
Dean from Community. What are you trying to tell us, Matt Treast?
The bald guy, that was in the Dean from Community. He's in it.
Oh yeah, he's in it too.
Oh, huh. Wow. That you guys are really selling me on this movie here. So.
I thought this was it was like common knowledge. I thought you had seen this movie. God, I'd never
heard of this movie.
So it's probably one of my favorite movies of like the last 10 years,
or
maybe older than that.
I mean, it was one of those that slipped through the cracks, Matt. To be fair, like
sure.
It was an indie film. You know,
indie films often do.
What's I'm saying, like, isn't
like, no, I mean, like they slip through the class unless you're like kind of aware or somebody tells you.
Unless you're aware of them, or you have a theater. Like I know, like, when I lived in Knoxville, we had one movie theater that was just dedicated to independent films, and so that's where you would go to see all of those little films.
Oh, Matt Treast is clarifying. Jim Rash, he's one of the writers. Mind blown. I was this years old learning out that he was one of the writers. That's pretty amazing. I assume one of the screenwriters is what he's talking about. He's saying Dean from Community.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, Jim Rash. He's.
Yeah. No, I just like it's one of those things that like thinking Jim Rash like I just don't associate. It's like the name and the person in my brain don't put those.
Yeah, and then Nat Faxon, the other guy, he's I think he's friends with the Broken Lizard guys, and he's in a lot of those movies too. Like the yeah. Oh yeah, Nat Faxon. Funny.
Yeah, he's also and Maya Rudolph is in that movie. he is on the Maya Rudolph show that is on Apple called Loot. I think they just released season 2 on Loot. So I'm not all caught up on Loot, but
right.
I have enjoyed that show. So, but I'm looking most forward to is Shrinking when that's coming back.
Should be fairly, November.
I'm extra excited for you to watch this movie, though. Sorry, not to go back from Shrinking. Like,
sure,
I am genuinely excited for you to watch this movie. I think you're gonna fucking love it. It's that good.
Okay.
You forget he had a stepdad, though. Might bring up some trauma.
It might.
Well, I guess I can handle it. So nothing worse. But maybe my library has it.
Yeah, maybe.
So
just fucking rent it, dude.
Sure, but
dude, you can afford a $3 rental.
Yeah, but I'm walking around town and stuff like that. I can walk to the library. It's like it's a destination.
It's true.
We walk to a Starbucks like all the way out by the highway. It's kind of like a 7-mile kind of so, but it's nice because it's 3.5 to get to Starbucks. You can have a place to stop, eat, go to the bathroom, and then you head back. And then anyway, sorry. Matt Treese with the knowledge here. Shrinking season 2, October 16th. So thanks.
Yeah.
And then he also said, I think Loot season 2 is in pre-production, but they're postponing since. No, I thought that's season 3. I thought Loot season 2 is already out.
I think it's out.
Yeah, like I think that's for season 3. Treese. Usually, because season 2 came out in April of 2024. So, but anyway, I digress. But it's interesting though that Nate Faxon is also on there. He's kind of a main character on that show.
Going back to the dean on Community. Just because Beetlejuice came out, I had known this, but I had forgotten about it until someone brought it back up again. That's one of the things I loved about Community. It was like how good the writing was when it wanted to be, and how many things that they would do that would tie in many seasons later. And they actually in the first 3 seasons, like I think it's I forget who's it, but like Britta, yeah. She says Beetlejuice in season 1, and then somebody else says it in season 2, and then in season 3, the brunette, she says it. And then as she said, and so they say Beetlejuice 3 times, and then when on the 3rd time they say it, if you look behind her character in the window, Beetlejuice walks by. And so it's like little things that you would never pick up on unless they
right.
Wow, 15. Damn, Matt, make me feel old. Community turned 15 this week, which that makes sense. I remember being at Comic-Con 2010, it was 10, so it was after season 1. They did their first community panel at Comic-Con, and I got my picture with Alison Brie.
We know you've been creeping on that photo for so long.
Shut up, Matt. But yeah,
it's like taped right above his bed.
Yeah, well, it was cool because like I liked Mad Men.
I'm just teasing.
That's the reason why I went, because I'm
just jealous.
Men, but, yeah, she married a Franco though, so. I'm kidding.
Sorry, I'm going down a goddamn rabbit hole on the way back.
You look like it.
I might have to go back and watch it again. I might buy this movie. I should buy it.
That's one of the things I've definitely embraced and kind of hated at the same time, and that I was such a DVD Blu-ray purchaser for so long that now, especially when it comes to seasons, TV shows or something that would be 2 DVDs or whatnot, you can just buy it now off of Apple and it's just there, and you're like, this is awesome. Just look under my library and there it is.
Boom.
And so I'm definitely liking that.
I do buy movies like that. To Chris's point, I bought The Hobbit the other day.
Oh, nice.
Not the live action.
The cartoon.
The 1977 cartoon. So to keep everybody,
which is way different.
It here's the thing, and both my daughter and I just finished reading The Hobbit. So this was kind of like our celebration. It was kind of like, I didn't even tell her about it. I was kind of keeping it on the down low, because she kept saying, I feel so cheated by like the movies because there's none of all of this orcs battling and like all of this like nonsense. And I'm like, I understand. And she was like, I just want like a cottagecore version of The Hobbit.
The cottagecore version.
Cottagecore version. Yes, that's my daughter. And so I was like,
that's
okay.
adorable.
And I said,
it's like the cutest thing I've ever heard.
And so I said, yeah, I hear what you're saying. And so I queued it up, had it ready to go. And then, and she was like, what's this? And I'm like, this is The Hobbit from 1977, Rankin Bass. Like, here we go. Like, and played it. And it is cheesy. The music and the songs, they take you back to
but she probably loved it, didn't she?
She did, because here's the other thing. There's a lot of singing in the book. You read The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings, everywhere they go, like the elves are singing.
The dwarves, specifically.
So, anyway, it was... She found it to be more accurate to the book than the movie trilogy. Which is fair, because the trilogy has all of this shit with like Thorin fighting that orc on the waterfall thing, and like, I mean, he's like he's practically possessed by the Arkenstone at some point. Like, I don't know. I mean, the Arkenstone plays a part, but I don't know. The Hobbit movies, like we've talked about it probably too much. I won't kick that can too many times.
There's a new Lord of the Rings movie coming out.
It is.
Yeah, it's The Search for Gollum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which will be 2 movies, according to McKellen Gandalf.
Which is Andy Serkis is actually directing it.
Oh, is he?
Oh.
But I mean,
That's
I think
exciting.
Peter Jackson's behind it, but they said that it's still like way too early. He said that they're still writing.
Ian McKellen was like, "You better hurry up because I'm about to fucking die."
Yeah, he said.
Yeah,
he said because I'll do it if the screenplay is good and I'm not dead.
Mhm.
That's basically his words. I mean, I'll watch it.
I think you should watch Rings of Power. I think you should watch Rings of Power.
Not gonna.
I think you should just give it a shot. You know, what do you got to lose?
Hey, let me share my screen for a second. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. Hang on.
Nick was like so quick on that. He was like, "No, I'm not fucking watching Rings of Power, man."
Oh, that's cool. Oh yes, that's not. It is.
Where do you? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Matt Treese brings up the cartoon that's coming out as well.
Yes, the War of.
That's what's on the screen right now.
The War of the Row.
That'll be good.
Rohirrim. It's this opening part on the trailer is like basically parts from the live action, but it switches over to anime, and it's basically kind of like a Studio Ghibli-esque. You know, definitely some of the characters as they come up, you can kind of see some more of their anime, style. But I'm excited because since my son's been very heavy into Lord of the Rings, I'm just like, okay, I'm here for it. But he knows so much more, and he's like, he has got this shit locked in, and he'll tell me stuff. They're sometimes
like a sponge, though,
and I'm just like, oh yeah, buddy. And like he comes up to me and he's like, and to your point, Nick, on Rings of Power, there are these like doors of Morin or whatever that like they're in the book, and he's like coming up to me. He's like, look, like this, blah, blah, blah. And he's like going on about them. And I'm like, okay, sure. That makes sense. Like, and I'm so like, I'll probably continue on. I'll probably, just cause he's reading them, I'm a much slower pace, but, It's got some Princess Mononoke vibes, don't you think?
Dude, this thing looks badass.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited for it. It's by the way, it's a 2.5 hour fucking anime.
Well, yeah, that's which is actually even longer than
behind Mononoke. So,
dude, this.
And that monster right there is actually in Lord of the Rings too. That monster of the water or whatever, the thing that grabs.
Yeah, the big octopus looking thing.
Yeah. So.
Speaking of those,
my daughter's also excited about this too because it's got the strong female character. So
right. Speaking of old cartoons, you should make her read Watership Down and then make her watch the cartoon. Because that won't bring you trauma at all.
Right. I actually I was at the library today and there was a graphic novel there that they just kind of just had fresh, like just sitting there of Watership Down, and I was like, oh, I might check that out. Oh, yeah. I think it's
the same as like Animal Farm, which I like the book, and I like the original cartoon way better than like the weird, creepy CGI movie they made not too long ago. But
yeah, I mean, and the Disney version,
you mentioned the Disney version of Animal Farm.
It's called The Lion King.
Oh well, yeah. Well, The Lion King is called Hamlet, but
oh yeah, that is true. That is true. So.
Yeah, you're right though. I could see that as well. I hadn't thought about it though, like kind of being like Animal Farm, but I could see the references for sure.
I mean, because the way they segregate and have power, and the people that are in power and how they get power, it's like there's a little Animal Farm maybe in The Lion King.
Mm-hmm. So I can see it. Yeah, I mean that's also why I really like Pink Floyd's Animals as well. It's one of the most underrated of the Pink Floyd records, but it's a twist on the book. It's not completely like the book, but it's the same as that it's broken down. If no one out there's a Pink Floyd or have not listened to Pink Floyd, it's basically it's 5 songs, but really it's 3, and it's sheep, dogs, and pigs, and it's all about how people fit into one of the 3 categories. Whereas in the book,
what do you think you are?
Well, I mean, most of us are sheep, sadly.
Oh, okay.
That's the whole point. But
so we can't, and we don't want to be a pig, right?
No, you never want to be a pig, but you don't want to be a dog either. That's the thing, is that you don't want to be any of the 3, really.
Really?
Because like the book it's a critique on communism, whereas in the album by Pink Floyd is a critique on capitalism.
Interesting.
But it's just like I say, it's an interesting points of view.
That
concept.
I'll try to give that a spin. I'll put that in there.
Oh man. So
I know I've listened to it, but I want to listen to it again with those like kind of. It's not one that I know on heavy rotation. So Wish You Were Here is to me like just. It's one of those albums that you just connect with on some time when you're.
Well, to me, Animals is the last Pink Floyd record. I mean, because The Wall, I love The Wall, but it's really a Roger Waters record. It's not really Pink Floyd. And so when you listen, I mean, I think guitar-wise, it's definitely one of the best Gilmour played, because like you listen to Dogs, which is the second track, which is the longest track on the record, and you hear all the lyrics come in. All of a sudden, when it gets to the guitar, I can't do it. It's just like you cannot help but just melt into your chair as soon as that first guitar solo hits. And then on Pigs,
that's when the acid kicks in.
It's when it kicks in, man. Yeah. And then on Pigs, the fact the talk box, or whatever it's called, that was made so famous by the Frampton, yeah, for sure, as well as Aerosmith did it on Sweet Emotion, and then you also have Joe Walsh did it on Rocky Mountain Way.
That's the one that I always think of too, Rocky Mountain Way.
So when you get to that, when you hear these pig sounds, especially in the middle break, that's him playing pig sounds on the guitar. It's just like, but you don't think about it. But it's just like you just wow. It's just like, God, it's a great record that people just tend to forget about because all the songs are so long on it. Yeah. It's just kind of like, do I really want to sit here for 17 minutes and listen to a song?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's
Anyway, not to just talk about Pink Floyd the whole time, but I got into Pink Floyd when I was 18, 19, and that's the one group, even though there's tons of groups that I love, that's the one group that every so many years I'll come back to, and the album is different. Like to me, it just when I'm listening to, that's what to me that band was the perfect blend of music and lyrics, of just concepts or music. Like what it's a little bit for everybody.
What would you say the best band would be combining music and sex?
Music and sex. Oh, Motley Crue.
Led Zeppelin.
No, yeah.
Well, you know, I got to ramble on.
So. Yeah. Another Lord of the Rings fan.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In the darkest depths of Mordor.
I was listening to my son and I were listening to some Dylan actually the other day, because he likes listening to Bob Dylan of all things. I pick out certain songs. I'm like, you gotta listen to this one, like this one's really good. But it's in one of the songs, like I went to 12 Misty Mountaintops. It's
Misty Mountains. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
My blue-eyed son, where'd you go, my darling young one? That song. I can't remember the name of it now.
Oh, that's off his first record, that he's 63. That's Hard Rain Gonna Fall.
Yeah, Hard Rain. Thanks. So
and basically,
I don't know why I remember the lyric, but I can't remember it. Yeah, it's like,
he actually said that song was actually every line was a title of a song. Yeah, he said that's why it kind of doesn't make sense, is that he just had like all these potential song titles and just kind of strung them all together. And
I like it because it's like he just you listen to it, but there's so many. So if those were all song titles, those are a lot. But they all have kind of this, like, you can imagine something with them. So they have this powerful imagery. So as he's listing off, like, so what did you see, my darling one? It's just like, well, I saw newborn babies with wild wolves all around it. I saw, diamonds of something and nobody on it. So it all of those like imagery, it takes you into these like places, and I don't know, it's the metaphor, the poetry of it. I just really,
that's to me, I've made that argument several times. I'm not necessarily with you guys, but is that, what makes you like a song is its melody first. Does it have a good hook? Does it have interesting chord changes? Does it have a kick-ass guitar solo? Like, what is it doing? But what makes it a classic is, do you grow with that song? Does it continue to grow with you? And like, what, it's like a good book or anything else. It's like, when you revisit it, you learn something new every time. And that's, to me, that's what makes good music. And Bob's definitely one of those. Beatles are one of those people. Pink Floyd.
Well, listening to music with like my son or even my daughter, but like we'll just have these kind of moments, and it's just like it's really nice because it's like you're listening to it in a new way, kind of through their ears as well. So, especially when they,
and it's kind of going like, I know I mentioned it months ago about how when I take road trips, if a certain song comes on, even though I love that song, sometimes I'll fast forward or I'll skip it because it brings up so many memories.
Oh, sure.
Of like, it could be a time, it could be anything, that somehow that song's connected to a certain part of where you were at that stage. And
I dated a girl named,
relive that at that moment.
I dated a girl named Sarah. So
yeah.
So that Bob Dylan song was completely burned. This is like, I can't. It's like, I mean, I'll listen to it, but it's like, why do I want to hear her name just whined by Dylan?
How did we start talking about Bob Dylan?
I don't know.
He was talking about Zeppelin, and then he said his son was listening to Bob, and then that's how it
got it.
I don't know, just rambling.
Have you seen the trailer for the Bob Dylan?
Right, with Timothy. Yeah, with Timothy. The kid from Dune. Yeah,
I haven't seen it. The kid from Dune. Here, you want me to pull it up? What's the movie?
Pretty awesome. I saw it. I saw this trailer when I went and saw. I think Wolverine and Deadpool.
Okay.
The movie's called A Complete Unknown.
Yeah. The Complete Unknown.
All right. A Complete Unknown.
It looks pretty good, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. We'll see. I'll be curious to see if it's straightforward. Because, I mean, to me, I'm Not There was so good in 2007, even though that's an art pick. I liked the different aspects of his personality and phases he was going through.
Yeah. Well, I think the I'm Not There was a really good, and the soundtrack from that one was really
excellent.
Solid. Yeah.
So it's gonna feature young Woody Guthrie, Johnny Cash, Joan Baez. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Like, yeah, and it looks like it's just kind of focusing kind of on that early period of Bob. How is it? Okay, you're Bob Dylan.
Because the saved era, the early 80s saved era of Dylan is not going to sell movie tickets.
No, it's not. It's not. But you're Bob Dylan. He's still alive. He's touring, and they're making movies about you, like multiple biopics about you. As it's like he's just kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm Bob.
I think it's always been Bob, though. Like,
yeah,
I think Bob knows his appeal and that the myth is better than the truth.
Sure.
And so, because I know me, just being the person I am, if someone's making a movie about me, I mean, I would go in there and be like, yeah, 90% of that was bullshit. Yeah. But,
yeah. I dig the clothes, dig the style. I like that kind of early Dylan. Yeah. Like, need to get a coat like that. That brown coat was pretty cool.
Oh, for the blonde on blonde. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, well, anyway,
it's good stuff to look forward to.
Where are we getting close to the?
We should. Yeah. Well, we should be ending, but we need to probably put in one more commercial.
Let's squeeze one out.
Okay.
All right. Give me a minute.
Yeah. I think we can pinch that off now.
Yeah.
Yeah. These commercials are getting ridiculously gross.
We did not have an email though.
Oh, too bad.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, in the last 3 minutes since Jack's not here, Legos go.
There's definitely, I mean, I haven't bought a set in so long because now the ones I want are all like $500, and I'm just like
the Jabba Palace the Jabba
sales barge. Yeah.
Fuck. I knew that was coming down the pipeline. And I was just like, I just don't know. Although there is a big $500 set that may or may not be on.
There's so many though. I need like I said, the only one I have to buy before the end of this year is the Batman. Box.
Yeah, the box. Yeah,
I have to buy the Shadow box this year. That's probably the only one I'll buy this year. But
just use some of those points you got tanked up.
Still, I don't have 500 points worth, 500 points or whatever that one is, 400 or 300. But but I still need to buy Rivendell. I still need to buy Avengers Tower. There's so many that I want. I'm just like, fuck, I ain't got this kind of money anymore.
Yeah, the Rivendell. Ooh, this is the Lego Ideas Goonies. You can vote on this one, right? Yeah,
the Goonies ship. So one side's the ship, Chris, and the other side's like all the caves and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
I love the modular aspect of it too. I think that's.
I think this one will get greenlit, but just at a smaller
scale.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So when this, I'm buying.
You're basically saving up for it right now.
Yeah. So someone said it was probably priced around the $200 price.
Maybe.
I have
the only reason why it'll be $200 is because it's a niche product, because only a certain generation will buy it.
I would at least hope that it makes the $250 price range, because then
nice.
That's then you might have a little bit more build. I think
I can put the octopus in there too. That's awesome.
I think one of the frustrating things as you look at Legos is that some of the commercial license stuff, for especially like Star Wars, the prices for some of those ships are just redonkulously expensive because of the minifigs that are involved. And And some of them just don't even the builds aren't even that fucking cool. Like the Yavin set that came out, the Yavin Temple, like that build is so lame, and it's like the whole cost is because it comes with like 12 minifigs that
I think
gonna buy and
2 years ago. I think 2 years ago Lego figured it out. At least they figured out how to maximize sales with minimal product, and that if we put look at the one that's the from the Mandalorian, like the mechanical spider one. It's one of the worst sets ever.
Right.
But it was like $45, and the only reason why people bought it is because it's a one only Bo-Katan.
Yep.
And because she has the pinks and all the stuff on her helmet, so that minifig will be worth a ton. And so people bought it just for the minifig. And so that's what they've done. They just said like, oh, if we just put this minifig it will only be in this set, people will buy it.
And it can be a shitty ass set. Yeah, no. Some of those sets too, you just kind of like say like, do you really want that collecting dust? Or do you want to salvage it and just use those for parts? True. Yes, the Jaws one is what Chris has pulled up. And for those just joining us, like Mike here, has the show started yet? We're just about to end. We're on the tail end. It's just the boys tonight. Jack didn't quite make it, but we were talking Legos.
I want a Clint fucking minifig, dude.
This is still the ideas version. This got greenlit and it's made. The real one's out there.
I don't think I've ever shown. I actually have this set, the one that was the mock. I bought it years ago. Which is, it looks like that. It's way more detailed. You have the 5 yellow cans instead of like the one I think it's in the official ones only have 3. It's a much smaller version than this. The only thing that you couldn't get in the mock is the actual shark jaws that they show right there on that image, because they do not make those parts in white. Yeah, it's a cool. I'll show it to you sometime if you want.
So you've seen the other Jaws set, right? That was made off of this, right, Chris?
I think so.
Here. This set, which is on currently back order, 60 days. Yeah. $149.99, $150 or what have you for the Jaws set. No, it's not bad actually.
I mean, more like 89, but
yeah. I mean, it has a kind of a nice tabletop kind of display where you can just kind of have the boat out and out. So
yeah, like I said, I've always looked at the pieces. So you see 1,497 pieces, and I usually go a dime per piece, so that makes sense, like $150.
I just jumped over to Chris. So yeah, that C-3PO, nobody wants that shit.
No, nobody wants that shit. No.
Stupid.
Go away, Goldenrod. Nobody wants your kind here. So anyway, let's. Oh, hey, why am I still?
Yeah, I mean, I think my wish list currently on the Lego site, I think it's around $6,000 if I bought everything that was on my list.
Jesus Christ!
I got house repairs to make.
Right. Well, so being a homeowner.
Yeah,
always something.
What was it? So on my stairwell, it goes up to my bedroom. There's 7 huge windows that wrap around the stairwell.
Yeah, so
and
everybody can see who you take up there.
Yeah, exactly. I like for the neighborhood to see. It's fine. It's really nice because it puts a lot of light in the house most of the day.
I'm still sharing.
Sorry. But at a certain time of the day, like around 11:30, you get so much sun hitting the lower level that after so many years of sunlight, it's going to fade the furniture, the carpet, or whatnot. So I was looking into getting some blinds to put on these windows, and somebody came out. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're going to need these kind of blinds. You're going to need these kind of motors, blah blah blah, to do this. We'll have it on a time schedule." And I was like, "Okay." And they're like, "Yeah, it'll be $7,500." I'm like, "Go fuck yourself."
No way.
$7,500. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. Everything's fucking expensive these days. Everything.
Did you see the Dark Falcon?
I did.
Cool. Yeah, I did.
That's another set that there's the stupid spider one. Yeah, but
I'm getting the Dark
Falcon. Yeah, I mean the minifigs alone is worth getting it because
they got Jedi Vader, which is so fun. And Jedi I don't know, did you guys? You guys
Dark.
Probably didn't watch this yet. Maybe I don't know, but the Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. It dropped on Disney Plus. It's a four-part Lego show. Each episode's probably like 25 minutes or what have you. It is a fun kind of mix-up of things. Got to watch it with my kids, who are probably, on the upper end of the target demographic of this show, but still enjoyed it. There's some really kind of fun surprises as far as how the universe kind of gets mixed up and who's on what side. And they definitely leave it so that hopefully, maybe, I don't know, they could mix up more stuff, maybe perhaps in the future. So, but so a fun show though. Lego Rebuild the Galaxy, Star Wars.
Nice.
Not a lot. Yeah.
I'm currently obsessed with these fucking Star Wars mech suits.
Yeah.
These things are fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, for they're a nice reasonable price too, at $15.99.
Yeah.
And very playable as figures, because they've got that kind of mobile arm kind of. So yeah, somebody at Lego Works built up or dreamt up the whole, how do we make a figure, so, but very cool.
I would like it. Just going back to like the sales barge, I doubt they'll do it. I doubt they'll do it because the last one they had to pull because they were saying it was racist. But if they made a huge ass Jabba's palace with like complete with dungeon and I would fucking love that thing.
Right.
I mean, it would be expensive as hell. But
sure.
I would love that because I have the one they released back in 2014. Which was the combo. You could buy the palace, and then you could buy the Rancor pit. And the Rancor pit, they actually left. You could still buy that years afterwards, but you couldn't buy the palace because they said it looked too much like a mosque, and they didn't want to be making fun of Islam.
So, but
I want to get that one too. Yeah.
Oh, the Nightmare Before
Christmas. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering how they do that moon piece because it's like one big disc.
It does look like one big disc, yeah.
Which is weird. So does it just have one single node on the end? It just.
I bet it's a smooth flat piece with 4 studs in the center.
Okay. Yeah, I think.
And then the black piece, it's because it's covering up. That's probably
right.
Yeah.
Four over just a single stud makes sense, but that set's like $250. I want to say, right?
And really, I like the moon piece.
Oh no, it's 19. It's 200. So
yeah, that's still kind of high, but I definitely want to get that one too. I don't care anything about the bank or city hall part, but I definitely want the house and the moon piece.
The bank, city hall, or as far as what?
There's 3 buildings. I mean, there's 3 scenes out of it.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Sorry, I was confused. I like the even though I'm not like a Hocus Pocus fan, like I've probably watched that movie once and tried to forget it twice.
Oh, right.
But I like the house. I like the way the house looks. Again, it's nothing. If you like the movie, like I understand, like it's nostalgic for some people, but for me, it was just not. It's just kind of like it was
that was me for the longest time.
But the building looks kind of cool though.
It does. Yeah, like to me for the longest time when Legos were a little bit more affordable. If it looked like a modular and I could fit it in the modulars, I bought it because like there's so many Harry Potter sets that I have. People are like, I thought you didn't like Harry Potter. I'm like, yeah, I don't really, but it's a cool building, so I'm going to put it in there. And someone will like Harry Potter, so like I have Diagon and Alley, and I keep waiting for them to build like the other side of the street so I can just have them, and that would be. I want to get that too. I still to this day. So that's the pit, Starlight Pit. To me. The skiff from 2013 is still the best one. I mean, they definitely made the pit better over the years, but because it has the longer, more movie accurate length to it with the sloped nose, whereas in the ones they made in the last 2 times have been like a round kind of knows. And they always skip out on the minifigures too. It's always the same one. I'm like, no, I put the rest of the people that were on the damn ship in there. Anyway. That one there is worth getting just for Baby Groot.
Yeah, right.
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
That's pretty.
The ship looks pretty awesome too.
No, I like the display stand for that too. So, it's like
that's awesome. Oh fuck.
Oh fuck. More money.
Oh, and then you got so many freaking Lord of the Rings sets too.
Yeah.
Like I want to get, like I said, I want to get Rivendell, and I want to get fuck, what's it called? Sauron's Tower.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My son would be lapping us right now.
God.
He's like, boom. I'm like, what? Oh, I'm sure that's what it's called. Okay. Yeah. It's like,
and they actually have they have Saruman's Tower at our local Lego store. It's not a Lego store, but the bricks and minifigs. And they want $700 for it. I'm like, no.
I thought it was going for $500.
No, not the new one.
Oh,
the old one. Like, no, you have Saruman's Tower. I mean, you have Sauron's Tower is the new one.
Yeah, I
got Saruman's Tower is like 2012, 11, somewhere in there. It's smaller, but it's still pretty kick ass.
Baradur.
Very good.
Yeah, that was really slick. So,
thank you.
What's the word for friend in Elvish?
So this goes for $459.99. So, and if my son wants this, he can save up his money for it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't buy
that's kind of fucking cool.
If you bought it the day it was released, you got. Actually, give me 2 seconds and I'll show you.
Oh, look at that Gollum! Look at that Gollum. Pretty cool.
Look at that Sauron.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, that is cool. Oh, these little helmets.
So I know my kids don't watch this show, and they should all be in bed asleep by this point, but the Rivendell set is I'm going to use some of my bonus.
The other thing that I love and hate about Lego is that, so like right now, if you buy the sales bars the day it's released, you get Luke's lightsaber build.
Oh.
And so for that one, for the Lord of the Rings one, if you bought it the day it was released, you got the Fell Beast.
Oh, that's cool.
So
damn.
And that's the only way you could get it.
And
there's no telling what it costs now on eBay if you want to get this.
Wow.
But it's just like, that's what I'm saying. It's like they kind of force you to buy these expensive sets just so you get the exclusive set that comes with it.
Damn.
And
well, there you go. The more you know.
The more you know. Yeah.
Well, $142 on eBay.
$142 for the Fell Beast?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
That's actually not too bad. I mean, it's not that big of a set, but considering that it's only like a limited, it's not too bad.
Hopefully you don't get a jelly of the month. Thanks, Mac.
You can get it on fucking Amazon, dude. Or yeah.
Well, it's people reselling it though.
No, it's the Lego store.
No, the Fell Beast.
I mean, hang on. I can just
not on the Lego store.
Amazon.
On Amazon, yes.
But from Lego.
How much is it on the Amazon store?
It's from Lego.
Did you say 250?
250. Okay, I'm going to share this.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, 250 for that little set. That's what I'm saying. But they were just an exclusive for that. So this is someone reselling it, or
no, but it's from the Lego store.
Oh, well, okay.
It just says visit the Lego store.
Visit.
Yeah, but that's where it sells from, isn't it? Oh no. Nope.
Yes, sold by
somebody else.
Yeah. See. Yeah. 250. That's a bit high, but yeah.
Yeah.
If you get it for 180 or less, then that's a pretty good deal.
Ooh.
Oh, light it up. Some of the new light up brick stuff.
That would be cool.
Doing. Yeah. The wires, it's a pain. It's a pain in the butt. Run the wires, but I've done that for some of the Christmas sets. especially for my wife because she likes the Christmas sets. So
I do too. Yeah,
I put the wires through and then we light it up and it looks cool. It's very festive.
Have you gotten the wreath? I thought about it, but the more I look at it, the less I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, she likes kind of more the buildings.
Oh, the buildings, yeah.
Yeah, so she's been very kind of like, like it's weird because she only will build
the Christmas ones.
I know it's like we did find at our local Walmart of all things in the back aisle they had the botanicals. They were selling them for $20.
Nice.
So we picked up a wildflower, the other bouquet, so the 2 bouquets that they have out, and a
Wait, you got a bouquet for $20?
Yeah, and a bonsai tree. Yeah,
oh, man,
they had a bonsai tree for $20 and the bouquet and wildflowers bouquet.
That's
all marked down.
Hell of a deal.
I know. We bought 3 of them, went home, and then we were like, oh yeah, maybe we should go back. And then of course they're gone.
Oh yeah, they're gone. So, yeah,
but but I mean, we were just like
R2.
Yeah, you haven't built your R2 yet?
No, they're all sitting right here. And the X-Wing.
X-Wing. Oh yeah, and that comes with the Darth Malgus. Right?
Yeah, that's the only reason why. Yeah, like he's right now, if you buy them on eBay, all the 25th anniversary, he's the most expensive. I think he's going for $60, I think, right now.
Really?
Just by himself. Yeah,
it's a buyer's market.
Yeah, the cheapest one's Fives. Fives is like $20, I think. But yeah, the rest of them all are in between.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think I've built that one yet, but
that one was one that came.
Wrong side.
Yeah, that's the one that came if you bought so much money. Yeah.
Force Day.
Was it Force? Was it? God, was it that far back? Was it back on May the 5th?
Yeah, May the 5th. May the Force be with us.
May the 4th. Yeah, sorry.
And then coming up in December, we're gonna have the basically Goonies in Space Star Wars show with Jude Law. So
I thought that was January. Okay, cool.
No, December. I thought it was December.
It could be December. Yeah.
Got to build too.
Skeleton Crew. Let me see.
It's cool.
I'm looking it up. Fact checking this.
I like this one. This one has a stand built into it too.
Yeah. A lot of those are like. That's going to be, I think, in the future, kind of like the helmet.
December 3rd.
December 3rd. Awesome.
Yeah. I think this little adorable little guy.
Yep.
So for everyone out there who can't see this, we're talking about kind of like the MIDI
all
scale.
All the shit that Jack won't.
Yeah. We're talking about the MIDI scale, like the smaller scale versions of these big ships. And so they've released like a Millennium Falcon this year. They did the medical frigate for a Comic-Con exclusive a few years back. But Chris was showing the Superstar Destroyer. They've got the Grievous
blockade runner.
Yeah, that's right. The blockade runner. They did that one. This coming out soon is the from the Clone Wars cartoon series.
Right. The hand.
Something hand. Yeah.
Yeah. Something hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but it's from the season 1. It's a pretty cool ship. So
yeah, like that.
Cool that they're doing something from the cartoon.
I thought that was a really cool storyline because it's basically Sink the Bismarck. That's basically the same story. It's like, the Germans in World War II had like this one battleship. It came through the English, sailed over England, sank the hood, caused all this panic among England people. And then they basically sent the entire English Navy to destroy this one battleship. And that's basically the story of that in the Clone Wars. I'm like, oh, that's so cool how like they kind of retold that story through Star Wars.
We're going to start retelling this story on this podcast as Chris, who we've kept here for so fucking long.
He's been a trooper. He's so
been
good.
A trooper. We got to talk Lego Star Wars. Let's wrap it up, kids. I guess I'm the one that does that.
Yeah.
Thank you for everybody that joined us in the show, by the way. Matt Treist, Sherry, Miami Mike for showing up so late. Matt K, other people, Randy, wherever you are. God love you.
You fell asleep.
Jim Rash, thanks for showing up. We'd like to thank the people that make the show possible. Mainly all of them, but Joanne with the plan, Maggie the Magnificent, trying to do it backwards, but I can't. Ed the Creepy Litter Carrier, and Eckhart Richter Gladfelter the third. Thank you for doing what you do. Thanks for making this show possible. And thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to Ramblecast After Dark on YouTube. Send us an email at rcadcast@gmail.com. And whatever you do, just keep on
keeping on.
Life's a garden. Dig it.
Dig it, baby.